Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, my name is Winda Ardi Rahmawati from Sebelas Maret University. I will present the results of my research entitled Mathematical Literacy of Students Who Have High Mathematical Disposition in Solving PISA-Like Mathematics Problems. And the background of this research is mathematical literacy is a person's ability to read mathematics in various contexts of daily life. Based on the PISA framework, mathematical literacy skills are student ability to formulate, apply, and interpret mathematics in a variety of contexts that include mathematical reasoning and also using concept of procedure and mathematical fact. Mathematical literacy skill become one of the most important factors that students must master because indirectly in the process of mathematical literacy train students to better understand mathematics as a meaningful subject and not just calculation or formulas. One of the international assessment program of knowledge and skill known is as PISA, or Program for International Student Assessment, has compiled a variety of technical assessment that can help the government in seeing and assessing the results of the education system that can be assessed both nationally and internationally. But as is known that the results of the PISA assessment in Indonesia have not been in line with expectation. This is characterized by low score and test score of students in Indonesia in 2019, namely for the mathematics category, ranked below with an average score of 379. The low achievement of mathematics students is inseparable from one of the factors, namely the mathematical disposition of students. Students' interests when dealing with mathematics are also influential in the learning process and outcomes. Disposition is also related to the assessment of the application of mathematics in other fields and sees mathematics as something related to everyday situations and events, so that the disposition relates to mathematical literacy. Different level of mathematical disposition lead to different level of student math literacy as well. Based on the data, this study tries to examine more deeply about the mathematical literacy skill of students who have a high mathematical disposition in solving PISA-like problems by knowing the map of the mathematical literacy skill and mathematical disposition is expected to provide input to educators to know the level of characteristic of students in improving their results and learning achievement. This method in the research, the method use a descriptive qualitative. The purpose of this study is to describe the mathematical literacy skill of grade 9 junior high school students in solving PISA-like problems. And this research was conducted in junior high school Islam Terpadu Nur Hidayah Surakarta, and two subjects that have a high mathematical disposition in class 9 di SMPIT Nur Hidayah. The instrument used are mathematical disposition questionnaires, mathematical literacy tests, and interview guidelines. The entire instrument has been validated by expert validation. And indicators of mathematical literacy skills can there are 6 levels, and level 1 student can identify information and complete routine procedure according to relevant instruction and present it explicitly. Students can answer questions that are of general context. 2. Students can identify relationship between relevant textual information and data to solve problems. 3. Students can choose and apply simple strategies. Students can carry out a procedure well, including procedure that requires successive decision. 4. Students can perform calculations that involve a lot of context and use procedure and are able to communicate based on interpretation, results, and action. 5. Students can use both thinking and reasoning, reflect on what they are doing, be able to communicate their reasoning, and precisely connect their knowledge and math skill to the situation at hand. And 6. Students can apply their understanding in depth and complexities, formulate correct conclusion, argument, and explanation, interpret and understand information with high degree of reasoning. And result and discussion in the research is the questionnaire was given to the ninth grade, consisting of 29 students. The result of the analysis questionnaire instrument can be seen in the following table. This table about mathematical disposition polar results. This is a high mathematical disposition. There are 9 students and moderate 12 students and low 8 students. Based on the results of the questionnaire, select 2 subjects that have a high mathematical disposition. The next stage is to give the subject a mathematical literacy test. The problem given is similarly shaped PISA, and in this study, subject received 5 math literacy questions consisting of level 1 to level 6. And students' mathematical literacy skill at level 1. In question number 1, with mathematical literacy ability level 1 is classified as problem with the lowest level of reasoning, but it is very necessary representation skill that must be mastered by students to solve it. All the information needed in answering the question has been presented in the question. Based on data analysis, subjects were able to solve the question with the correct answer. In question number 1, subjects are able to explain explicitly all procedure in solving the problem, and both subjects can also perform action correctly in accordance with the stimulus that has been given. And the student mathematical literacy skill at level 2. Yes, based on the data analysis of both subjects precisely in solving the problem. Subjects have the same way or strategy in the completion process. The subject is able to link the information available to the question and perform the calculation according to the procedure and can provide the correct and precise reasons. This shows that a level 2 a subject can solve it with the right and correct answer, so that subject with high mathematical disposition can achieve an indicator of level 2 mathematical literacy skills. Next, student mathematical literacy skill at level 3. Based on the result of the data analysis, the subject is very careful in understanding the meaning of the problem. The subject is able to interpret the detail contained in the question and then be able to choose the strategy to be done. The subject at the beginning of reading the question was confused, but when understood again and really repeatedly, the subject can understand the intent in the question. The subject is also able to explain by using the strategy. The reason presents are very clear and acceptable. This shows that at level 3, the mathematical literacy skill of students who have a high mathematical disposition can solve problems well. Next, student mathematical literacy skill at level 4. Some of the information implied, but with the distance on the map and the time, the subject had no difficulty in interpreting. Then the subject is also able to connect the available information and able to computation precisely and thoroughly. The subject does not experience difficulty when explaining the remaining material smoothly. The subject does not find it difficult to understand the problem because the material has often been studied. This shows that at level 4, the mathematics literacy skill of students who have a high mathematical disposition can solve problems as well. Next, the student mathematical literacy skill at level 5 and level 6. Students are able to connect mathematical knowledge and skill and are able to reflect statement in problems and can then communicate them and can then communicate them. This problem is related to the broad concept of flat weight. Students search by knowing the average size per day of weaving obtained then area of fabric woven daily in the area of fabric woven of few days. Students are also able to read information well, which is related to the fixed size of the width of the cloth. For level 6, the strategy used has also not been able to describe the ability of students to use their mathematical idea. The reason given cannot answer the question or still unclear. This indicates that the subject at level 6 has not been able to understand the problem as a whole. The subject has not been able to combine the information contained in the question because the subject still feels confused in understanding the meaning of the question. And from the results of the explanation of data analysis at each level, for level 1 to level 6, students have been able to complete with the correct procedure and strategies. The higher the level has a different level of difficulty, but students are able to finish well despite the need for repeated understanding at a higher level of the problem. There is a positive relationship between attitudes towards mathematics and mathematical achievement, and mathematical disposition can affect mathematical literacy skill. Students with high mathematical disposition can perform all stages of problem solving in polytheory. And the last is conclusion. Based on the research and discussion, it can be concluded that the mathematical literacy ability of students who have a high mathematical disposition in solving PISA-Like problem in grade 9 students of junior high school Islam Terpadu Nur Hidayah Surakarta is very good. Students are able to solve problem up to level 5 and students with high mathematical disposition are able to explain the procedure completely and with the right reason. Teacher can give questions that vary on par with PISA problem, or teacher can provide example of problem related to real situation or that are currently up to date and use high reasoning, so that students can apply their reasoning skill as a tool to solve problems in a wider situation. This is enough for me. Thank you for your participation and for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.